If you bang your head on a wall, which one of the two breaks? Try it. Which one? Is it not obvious? Because the brick wall doesn't give way. It's fixed. It's the way it is meant to be. Your head has to give way. So the impact, the force of that impact has to be absorbed by your body. The wall does nothing, right? In the same way, ladies and gentlemen, when nature is there and it wants to have a certain way, and if you decide to have your own way, imagine that that is a situation where you're trying to bang your head on a brick wall. The brick wall is never going to move out of the way and let you pass. Your head is going to have to make way. So whenever you suffer, imagine this in your mind. Have this mental picture. Whenever you're suffering, it's because you're banging your head against nature, where nature is that brick wall. It's never going to give way. This is this friction that we experience. That is why the Buddhas come into this world and they teach us how to be at peace with nature. Now, here's the thing. To be at peace with nature, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is to understand the workings of nature. All you have to do is to understand the characteristics of nature. The moment you have understood the characteristics of nature, now you have understood nature. So the moment you have understood nature, now you are one with nature. You don't go against it. The three characteristics that we spoke about last week, do you remember them? Anicca, Dukkha and Anatta. These are the three characteristics of what? Nature. This is the lesson they should have included in science. That's cool. Grade 6. But this is a lesson that you had to wait until you were 60 to learn. But don't despair, it's never too little too late. As long as you're on this side of death, you're good. As long as you're this side of death, you're good. The characteristics of nature is what the Buddhas teach. Now we learn physics, that is also studying nature. We learn chemistry, we study nature. Yeah? Anicca, Dukkha and Anatta, the teachings of the Buddha, is also a study of nature. It's a natural science. It's a natural science. Whereas physics and chemistry help us to interact with the physical world, our bodies to interact with the physical world, Anicca, Dukkha and Anatta help our minds to interact with the physical world. That's what it does. You could include biology in that if you like. So biology, physics and chemistry, what we typically tend to call the three natural sciences, right? These three teach us how our physical existence, our physical bodies must interact with the physical world. Anicca, Dukkha and Anatta, which is the philosophy taught by the Buddhas, teaches our minds how it should interact with the physical world. So that's why this is a science. I often refer to this as the science of the mind. If you can understand this science, if you allow yourself to understand this science, ladies and gentlemen, you will be able to be at peace with nature. Now take this as an example. I've got a bad throat these days. Physics, chemistry and biology can now be used to help me feel better, to help me recover. Anicca, Dukkha and Anatta is not going to help me there. For that I need to understand physics, chemistry and biology. That's why someone fetched me some warm water and not cold water. That is their understanding of natural sciences. But if that gives me mental suffering, now the physical world is in a certain state, but if my mind is not prepared to accept that, That is because my mind has not understood the nature of nature, the characteristics of nature, and therefore internally, mentally, I will suffer. But anicca, dukkha and anatta, if my mind can instill this knowledge, acquire this knowledge, then I will not have to suffer because of this. How? Physically or mentally? Mentally. But physically, that suffering might endure until it is cured. Now, there may be people here who have various aches and pains in various parts of your bodies. Back aches, headaches, stomach aches. Every part of the body is waiting to ache, right? And you're not getting any younger, are you? So every part of the body is just waiting to ache. So these aches can sometimes be debilitating. Now, if you had one of those really bad backaches, right, and it's been terrible, you just can't get up on your feet and it's just constant, just a constant throbbing pain in some part of your body, let's say your back or your head, or when you have a migraine, right? That can really be a downer, and it can completely ruin your day if you let it. You don't have to be miserable just because you have a pain in your body. To be miserable is a state of mind, it's not a state of body. I want you to be in a state where every cell of your body could be crying out in pain, screaming out in pain, but your mind should be at peace. It should have accepted that pain and said, and be able to say, if that is what it is, then let it be. It's possible, ladies and gentlemen, it's possible. This is not some lofty ambition. This is actually very much possible.